All right. Baruch Hashem Yahuwah. All right. So it's been a while since I've been back. The last time I was up, I started an intro, and I think I dumped off into the deep end of things. So I want to. It's a new year. That was last year. Yeah. So we're looking forward to the kingdom. Looking forward to the kingdom. Let's go ahead and get the preliminaries out the way. Rules. Keep your mic muted except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. There's a feature in the room where you can raise your hand if you have a question. All mics must be on the top. All questions must be on the topic. You have 60 seconds to answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. For those that are in the room, you have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. There is a mic at each table that you can be used. All statements in the room, not just the commentary, that sidebar stuff that a lot of people don't hear, must be limited to 20 seconds. The microphones on the table can be used to share with others that may not hear you online. These rules are due to the time of the recording of the lesson. These are live teachings. We must give the Moria enough time to complete the lesson. This will be mixed with discussion to help build one another. Please do not abuse the time. All right. Disclaimer. I'll just use the bottom there. Or I'll just read the scripture. All scripture is breathed out by Elohim. That means everything that we're doing is coming straight out of the Bible, or coming straight out of the scriptures, or the writings, and are profitable for teaching and for reproof and for correction and for training in righteousness. Don't ever forget that. Don't miss the point of just always trying to superimpose yourself into the situation. If something does fit your situation, we're here together as a unit to kind of grow in the faith. Trying to get to that point of maturity in Mashiach. All right. Looking forward to the kingdom. I asked that question last time. Are we looking forward to the kingdom? Huh? Yeah. Looking forward to the kingdom. All right. Throughout the history of Israel, since the time that the northern kingdom has been put away and exiled out of Yahuwah's promised land, we have been looking forward to the kingdom being restored. During the time of Mashiach, temple leaders and the people were anticipating the restoration of the kingdom even after the death and resurrection of Mashiach. Right? So you see this here in Luke 17, 20, 21. Being asked by the Pharisees when the kingdom of Elohim would come, and he answered them, the kingdom of Elohim is not coming in the ways that you can observe, that can be observed, nor will they say, look, here it is, or there. For behold, the kingdom of Elohim is in the midst, or in your midst. All right. Mashiach was there at the time. Right? He's the representation of the Father, and he's coming near to them. It approached them. It's coming towards them. So they can't just say, oh, it's over here, it's over there, looking for a physical kingdom. There's things that had to be done or accomplished. So when we're thinking about the kingdom, I want us to kind of think about on this ride, what are we looking forward to in the kingdom? Why should we be excited about getting to the kingdom? All right. All right. What are we going to do there while we're in the kingdom? Right. So when we have come together, they asked him, Adon, will you at this time restore the kingdom of Israel? This is after his resurrection. And he said to them, it's not for you to know times and seasons that the Father has fixed in his own authority. Keep the word of authority in your understanding. We're going to look at this word kingdom in a little bit. All right. The promise of the kingdom of Elohim and the restoration of his people was spoken well before Israel even entered the land of Canaan. Right? And even in every generation, even now, we who believe are waiting and longing for the coming exalted kingdom. Now, there was a prophecy that went forth, or you remember Balaam? What happened? Can y'all tell me what Balaam? Everybody but Mori Lamajihu. All right. No, you got something back there to kill? Okay. All right. All right. Numbers 24, 3-7. All right. And he took up this discourse and said, the oracle of Balaam the son of Beor, the oracle of the man whose eye is open. Now you know that Balaam wasn't a prophet of Israel, right? He's a prophet of another nation, right? So that lets you know that Yahuwah uses who he wants to use. He has someone everywhere. Don't think you're the only one, right? The oracle of him who hears the word of El, who sees the vision of the Almighty Shaddai, falling down with his eyes uncovered. How lovely are your tents, O Yaakov, your encampments, O Israel, like palm groves that stretch far, like gardens beside a river, like aloes that Yahuwah has planted, like cedar trees beside the waters. What does that sound like? What's the imagery you see there? Garden. All right. It's not it's garden. The imagery is the garden, being back in the garden. He said, water shall flow from the buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters. What does that mean to you? You don't have to know it right now. Just think about that. His seeds will be many waters. Yeah. This king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. Hallelujah. All right. Your kingdom come. As we recall the prayer of our Adon, Savior Mashiach Yahushua gave us to his taught ones. He said this, Matthew 6, 9 and 10. Pray then like this, our Father in heaven, set apart be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Kingdom to come. He's knowing that this coming kingdom is coming. He said he's in the midst of you, but it's something that we're looking forward to. All right, so what is a kingdom? This is an open question. We're going to speak from an earthly frame of mind, since that's all you can really understand from. That's the first natural. Nobody? You got Google. Oh, here. All right, we got somebody online. Namana.
Shalom, Mori. I think a kingdom is like it's like it's a land. It's like a land that's like I would say a land that's ruled by the Most High. I would think, or ruled by Hamashiach Yahusha. That would be a kingdom. I think a
Okay,
land.
there's a land. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Who can say?
Shalom, shalom. So, a kingdom, according to the Dictionary of Oxford Languages,
Thank you.
is a country, state, or territory ruled by a king or queen, and also the spiritual reign or authority of Elohim.
All right, all right. So a kingdom. I want us to kind of put it in our mind because we're here in the states. We'll see that later. The states. All right. A kingdom is a piece of land that is ruled by a king or a queen. The kingdom is often called a monarch, which monarchy, which means that one person usually inherits their position by birth or marriage, is led is a leader of the head of state. Right, that's the convenience. So we see that basilia is the word in the Greek for kingdom, kingdom domain. But how do we say this? Malacha. That's the word for kingdom. All right, kingdom, empire, rule, the area of area or people ruled by a monarch from a form of government. So, form of government. Remember that monarch form of government. Reign, rule, power, kingship. The position as a king employed great authority. King, male ruler, governmental head of a kingdom. So we're looking at a kingdom to come. What does it mean to be in a kingdom? We don't really have a full understanding of that, do we? We say these words, but a lot of times we don't really understand what a kingdom is and what it looks like or how it even functions. All right. What is a monarch? Monarchy. Hand up front.
So a monarch is a monarchy is a government where one person, typically a king, is pretty much the ruler or the head.
Are there different types of monarchies?
Yes.
What types do we have? Do we have any answer for that one? Okay. We get it.
What?
You're right.
Okay.
A monarchy is a form of government in which the supreme power is held by one person, either officially or ceremonially. In a monarch, one person rules the government, and no human is above them in power. The rule of a monarch is called a monarch, and their position is nearly always hereditary, meaning that a member of the family will inherit the position when they die, or are willing to give up the power known as abdication. There are two types of monarchies: an absolute monarchy. You'll see that example in Saudi Arabia or Swaziland, South Africa. All right, and then there's what we see most time in the United Kingdom. It's a limited monarchy, right? And they share their power with the parliament, right? All right. In general, most who live here in the States, right, don't understand what it means to live under the reign of a sovereign authority. We don't really have a concept of that. That one person can control our whole existence and being with a word. We have presidents, we have governors, we have mayors. Our political system is different totally. So our understanding of it is different. For those who still live under the British, French, or Dutch colonialisms, at least a shadow of its former self, where in some of those places the monarchy is still recognized. They have maintained the protocols established by the traditions of those areas, of which many of the states only get a glimpse via TV, movies, magazines, and history books. And a lot of times it's a warped history. Yeah, oh yeah, and anime, cartoons. So we don't really understand what it means to be in the kingdom. We don't understand what it means to have a king or have someone that has that kind of power where you can't just walk in their presence. You have to be summoned. You just can't go up to the gate and knock on the door and they let you in. You can't just say, and to their officials, those that represent the king, get out of my face. Get away from my door. Because they have the authority and power of the monarch that's in charge. Absolutely. So we will get into more of that later. We're going to get into more of that later. Because I don't want to give all that. I won't get to that right now in this regard. The concept of rulership, according to the scripture, was authorized by Yahuwah Elohim from the garden. Mankind is introduced or instructed to have what? Dominion. What does that mean? Huh? What does that mean, dominion? Huh? We study in Genesis now, right? We're going to get there after a while. Genesis 1, 26, 28. Then Elohim said, let us make man in our image, our likeness, that let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over the livestock and over all the earth and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image, and in his image of Elohim, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over it. The fish of the sea, the birds of the air, of heavens, and every living thing that moves upon the earth. He said, have dominion over men too, right? Does that mean have dominion over? I know that to say in the English, but that ain't what it says in the Hebrew. All right, that's the one thing we should learn. Anytime we're dealing with our class, we see stuff in English don't necessarily mean that's what it says in the Hebrew. Right? So let's go look at this word, dominion. What's that word? Stop. I die. All right. It means to rule over, to dominate, direct, lead, control, subdue, manage, or govern an entity, people, or government with considerable or forcible authority. Note, in some contexts, the objective being control in a formerly hostile, subdued, and caused to dominate. And in some cases, in the kill form, it means to trample, to make a press or motion. But did you see that in the reading about the governments and people? But this is how most times they govern. Let's look at the word for subdue. What is that word? Chavaz. Chavaz. All right. Subdue. Overcome. Enslave. Conquer. Control an environment or people. Be subdued. Be subjected. To be brought under control. Subdue. Subjugate. You will do what I say do. You will conform. You will. Right? But he told us to do that to the who? Yeah, you see that to the things on this earth, the creeping, crawling things, the animals, we're supposed to domesticate those things, take control of them. All right, man was also given authority over his wife, households, family. All right. Genesis 3:16. To the woman he said, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband. Y'all gonna get along just fine, right? No. All right. But he shall rule over you. He shall rule over you. Is that the same ruling, you think? Stop. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate it. I know it is. I know it is. All right. No, it's not the same word. Mashal. All right. It's a rule to govern. This is a govern or control, to be in charge of. All right. Have a person or entity exercise authority over a person or a government. This is a different type of ruling. Right? This is like running a business, being a CEO. You know, he's in charge of what happens in that house. He's in charge of the decision making. You know? So I want you to keep that in control. But in in mankind's world, they rule by Radah. Havas. And Mashiach told us that we shouldn't act like that toward one another. Right? So we don't rule like that. Absolute. You better do it, I'll break your neck. You know? But there should be a submission component to it. Men have been ruling over each other since before and after the flood. Those who are viewed as physically strong, mentally, verbally cunning, fearless in the face of danger have been allowed to lead the masses. Right? Why do we choose some of the elected leaders we choose? Cunning. That's right. They got good mouthpieces. They can talk up a strong. They can talk up a good storm. Sometimes they're physically strong. You know, if we're in a situation where we had to survive, and people looking for the strongest person. If there's a danger involved, the person they're looking for the bravest person to get behind. You know, we'll support you. You go ahead. Right? But all right, now Mana. See a hand up.
Camry, and they often say what we want to hear to make us feel safe and secure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Who was the first person to do that? Low. I'm not going there. Who was the first person to do that in the context of what we're talking about? Yes.
I would say the first person recorded in Genesis is Nimrod.
There we go. All right. Genesis 10. All right. Cush fathered Nimrod. He was the first on the earth to be a mighty man. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Therefore, it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech and Akkadian and King. But I'm going to focus in on that mighty man. What does that mean to you? We've been here for a while. We've been studying the scriptures for a long time. What do you remember about that in your studies and things that have been presented over the years? Is that he's just a great guy? He's a strong leader. Shubiyahu?
It said that in Genesis 6 about the Nephilims.
Genesis 6 of the Nephilims? Okay.
But Yahuwah said that they were mighty men of renown.
Yes. Yes. That's true. But what does this mighty man? So you say it's in relation to that, correct? All right.
Correct.
All right. Now, Mana?
I was gonna say the same thing. A man of renown, mighty man of renown.
Renown. Okay.
Yeah,
Before
he said
Yahuwah.
the same thing. Yeah, Ken, like the Malachims were men of renown. They they had great strength, not only strength but wisdom that followed behind them. Men of renown.
All right. What renown? All right. Yeah. Is it Yahuwah said? Oh, okay. You see it better than I do. Yahuwah said?
Yeah, I got the word they use there is Gibor, and it also says that he was like a warrior or a tyrant. Not a warrior or a tyrant, someone that was very valiant in strength and power.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we got one more, and then that'll be Yahushua Dued.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gabor as well, but also giants. So excuse my voice.
Okay.
They were giants, a lot of them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it says Le Pene. That's the word they used for before. Le Pene. So what does that mean? Le Ali Pene. Yeah. Before his presence, before the presence of Yahuwah in his face. He's a mighty hunter in his face. Sounds different, don't it? In his face, he's doing things. So let's see what the Targum say. I want to just pull up a couple of them. All right, this is what the Targum say. This is historical writings from before the first, first century. And they recorded it like this. And Cush begot Nimrod. Behold, he began to become a mighty man in sin and rebellion before Yahuwah, in Yahuwah's face on the earth. He was a mighty man of rebellion before Yahuwah. Therefore, it is said, from the day that the world was created, there was none like Nimrod, a mighty man of hunting and rebellion before Yahuwah. It sounds a little different, don't it? All right, here's another Targum. All right, here's another one. Talk about that cunning, right? He was a mighty man in hunting and ensnaring, and a man in sin before Yahuwah. He used to ensnare the children of men with their tongues and say to them, distance yourself from the judgments of Shem and adhere to the judgment of Nimrod. Therefore it is said, like Nimrod, the mighty man in hunting, ensnaring, and mighty in the sin before Yahuwah. So he was a cunning man of words. He was not only strong or powerful, but he was also very intimidating. You know how to smooth people, right, to convince them to rebel. And another writing I saw, it even says that this is in Philo, I believe. It says that he was the phrase "the chiefest of sinners" was where it got it's attributed to him. The chiefest of sinners. Chief of sinners. He was the sinners of sinners. You remember the lesson that Maury did some time back? And he started talking about Nimrod or the kingdoms. And he brought that out, who Nimrod, who this kingdom is, and who this person would be. He reflect back to Nimrod. All right, although we live in this current age, we must keep in mind that all authority comes from where? Yahuwah. It is he who allows, appoints, and permits rulers, leaders into positions as he sees fit. Now, in the writings, they tell us this, Romans 13:1, that every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from Elohim, and those that exist have been instituted by Elohim. So we've already proven that, right? We've already seen that Yahuwah is the one to say, hey, y'all, have dominion, rule. This is how we should treat one another. All right. But they'll take it to the other extreme. We enslave one another, we kill one another, we subjugate one another. All right. And Daniel says this. Daniel answered and said, he's talking to the king, blessed be the name of Elohim forever and ever, to whom belong wisdom and might. He changes times and seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who are of understanding. So I want you to keep this in mind in the current political, geopolitical climate that we're in. These people are in place and doing what they're doing, and it's not taking Yahuwah by surprise at all. The way they're moving, the way they're operating, some people are put there for a specific purpose and reason. And we'll see that how he uses these people. All right. You also see here in Genesis 45:7-9, and Elohim sent me before you. This is Joseph. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a remnant on earth and to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but Elohim. You're looking at the situation what he went through. You all know the story. And he has made me a father to Pharaoh and an Adon of all his house, a master of all his house, and a ruler over the land of Egypt. So this is Yahuwah had planned this out. Now, the road getting there, it wasn't. If you knew you was going to be the ruler of this particular country, but you had to come through here as a slave. Hurry up and go to my father and say to him, thus says your son Joseph, Elohim has made me Adon of all Egypt. Come down to me. So I want you to keep that in mind as we keep going forward, that Yahuwah has put things in place. Right? So we're talking about this kingdom here. He's the ultimate authority. He's placed the authorities in place. The way they carry themselves, some of the protocols, we're going to see that as we continue on in this particular series of why things do the things they do. We'll say, oh yeah, they just wrote this in there like this, or wrote this. No, this is things they're mimicking. This is from ancient times. All right. Another point we must consider is that Yahuwah uses kings and rulers as he sees fit according to his purpose. When Israel and Judah rebelled against the Father, he allowed other rulers to come in, conquer Israel, and using them as a rod of correction. Right? Note that the men who ruled had the right to choose how they would govern. Now, Yahuwah tells us, hey, follow my laws, my statutes, my commandments. But did all our kings do that? Oh, okay. And so these other countries, there'll be some in there with actually honoring the Most High. Right? But here we go. Jeremiah 5:15, behold, I am bringing against you a nation from afar, O house of Israel, declare Yahuwah. It is an enduring nation. It is an ancient nation, a nation whose language you do not know, nor can you understand what they say. And that has happened. Can it happen again? Deuteronomy 28:49 is actually, it says, so just imagine, all of a sudden everybody over here speaking Arabic. You're already having trouble with Spanish. Huh? And if you ain't watching a whole lot of anime, you might have probably like Korean or Vietnamese or Japanese. All right, can you imagine that? All of a sudden, the rulership, the language, everything changes here. Or you get swept up and they send you to another country. You have to start all over. All right. Yahuwah will bring upon you and upon your people and upon the father's house such days has not come since the day of Ephraim departed from Yehuda, the king of Assyria. That's what he did. He sent Assyria. He used him as a whipping boy. All right. See that in Isaiah 10:5. This is a warning to them because they went too far. Woe to Assyria, the rod of my anger. Yahuwah will tear up something. He'll use another kingdom to do it. All right? The staff in their hands is my fury. He said, y'all are clowning over there. Built a whole new temple, started a whole new religious system. Y'all just tripping, building all these gardens like I don't even exist, like I'm not watching y'all. And you got my namesake, Israel. All right. Yahuwah gives and Yahuwah takes away. Now, Jeremiah 27, 1-7. In the beginning of his reign, Zedekiah, the son of Josiah. Now, Josiah was a righteous king, but his son didn't follow suit. King of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to me, make yourself a strap and a yoke bar and put them on your neck. Send word to the king of Edom and the king of Moab and the king of the sons of Ammon and the king of Tyre and the king of Sidon by the hand of the envoys who have come to Jerusalem to Zedekiah, king of Judah. They was all out trying to come there to make some type of deals and things like that. He said, this ain't going to happen. This is not happening. He said, give them this charge to their master, says Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel. This is what you shall say to your masters. It is I who by my great power and my outstretched arm have made the earth with the men and the animals that are on the earth, and I give it to whomever seems right to me. So when we see somebody gets up in the electric seat, don't think, oh, see who is doing. All we're supposed to do is pray for our safety. You know, we're doing the right things that don't affect us too much because he's our protection. He's our governor. So no matter what they're doing, whatever plan they put, he said, no weapon shall form, no weapon prospers that's formed against us. No weapon shall prosper. Nothing that they put against us is prosper. If we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? And even if we do suffer, he says, suffer patiently for righteousness' sake, not for your own wrongdoing. Right? Now I have given all these lands into the hands of who? Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. My who? My servant. And I have given him also the beasts of the field to serve him, and all the nations shall serve him and his sons and his grandsons until the time of his own land comes. Don't worry, he's gonna go too far, and I know he is, but don't worry. I'm gonna get not him, but his children's children. Just like he do with us. He don't let nothing slide. He ain't gonna wickedness is just not gonna get away with it. It's gonna be repaid. Then many nations and great kings shall make them their slaves. All right. And when he got prideful, this is what happened to him. In Daniel 4:16-7. Let his mind be changed from a man's, and let a beast's mind be given to him. For at least 7 periods of time pass over him. The sentence is by the decree of the watchers, the decision by the word of the Kodashim ones, to the ends of the living, to the end that the living may know that the Most High rules the kingdom of men. I'm in charge. I don't care what the political scene looks like. I don't care what's going on. You know what they're doing right now? I don't know. He might be this. He might do this. She might do this. She might do that. Who cares? We trust Yahuwah. And give it to whom he will and set over it the lowest of men. The lowest of men. Men who don't have good reports. Men who get away with despicable things. For his purpose now. It's for his purpose. Let's continue on. Now, here we go. Kingdom of priests. Exodus 19:5-6. Let's get back to us. Now, therefore, if you will intend to obey, if you indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, and you shall be my treasured possessions among all peoples. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be a kingdom of priests and a set apart nation. These are the words that shall speak to the people of Israel. Kingdom of priests? What does that mean? In another place, Peter picked up on it when he's writing to the scattered that was abroad, just like we are now. He says to them in 1 Peter 2:9, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set apart nation, a people for his own purpose, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into the marvelous light. So my question is, what does it mean to be a kingdom of priests? What is that? That's what he wanted. That's what he calls us now. That's what Mashiach says of us. Kingdom of priests. Anybody ever looked at that? Online? I know you have. Kingdom of priests, a kohanim. That's what we're supposed to be. Anybody got a question, answer for that? What is a kingdom? What is a priest? Let's put it that way. What is a priest? Shabiyahu.
He wanted us to be the priests over all the nations, teach them God's way.
He wanted us to, yes, what he wanted. Be a priest of all nations. But what does it mean to be a priest?
I think it's to know God's word.
Okay, that's one. That's part of it, yeah. So here's a question. Before we continue on. What do you think you're going to be doing in the kingdom? You're just eat and sleep? It's just going to be one big banquet throughout all eternity. That's all we're going to do. Some people, they used to say with the little cartoon with the harp and the sitting on the clouds, and in some places they have fishing poles and fishing rods and just reclining all day and just leisure time and, just roll around heaven all day. So, now, Mana.
Shalom, Mori. I think, in the kingdom, hallelujah, I think I think we're going to be mediators between the people and Abba Yahuwah. I mean, we're going to be doing work, telling the nations and other people about Abba Yahuwah. I mean, we're not going to be sitting around under trees and laying around. We're going to be doing stuff.
Oh, okay. Who can say it? Who can say it? We're gonna move on. 'Cause I'm on a time restraint.
Yeah. Shalom. So I got officiant, like a priest is an officiant. So whatever the monarchy is ruling that person to do, they will rule over and officiate the governing rules to everybody else on behalf of the monarch.
On behalf of the monarchy. All right. A priest is a person who performs officiating duties, administrative tasks, ceremonies on behalf of others towards Elohim. That's what we're working towards, right? Cleaning ourselves up, getting ourselves together, working to make sure that our heart's right, that we're focused, that we're growing and maturing in the things of Mashiach, getting ourselves in that place. All right. We see Shaul said this in 2 Corinthians 5:20. Therefore, we are what? Ambassadors, an authorized representative of a sovereign ruler or country to another. We're direct representatives, right? For Mashiach, Allah making his appeal through us. Elohim is making his appeal through us. We implore you on behalf of Mashiach, be reconciled to Elohim. That's what you do with your family members and friends and everybody you meet. Be reconciled back to the Most High. Be reconciled back to the Most High. He wants to have a relationship with you. We're his people. He wants you to be his people. And the next question is, what does it take to be his people? What I need to do to be his people? But first, believe on Mashiach. All right. All right. We see here, it's another thing that we're going to be doing. And they sang a new song, saying, "Worthy are you to take the scroll and to open the seals, for you were slain, and by your blood you ransom people for Eloi, and for every tribe and language and people and nation." From where? Every language, people, and nation. Didn't he say something at the beginning when we started this? The prophecy that came from Balaam, that he's going to cast his seed upon many waters. The waters of the people. And he said, them, he said, and you have made them a what? A kingdom and priest of Eloi. Priest of Eloi. And they shall what? Reign on the earth. Administration is going to change. And there's a job of function that we have. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to get into more of this next week, but I just want to kind of set it up. All right. During the restoration of the physical earthly kingdom, those who endure to the end and are found faithful shall have the honor of overseeing the reconstruction as officials of the kingdom. Revelations 26. Blessed and set apart is the one who shares in the first resurrection. That's what you should be shooting for, right? Over such the second death has no power. You know what happens in the second? When the great white throne judgment, or with the great judgment, right? Everybody gets up. And it ain't nothing happened during that time except for you going right or left. All right? But they will be priests. The ones that make the first resurrection will be priests of Eloha and of Mashiach, right? And they will reign with him for 1,000 years, what is technically, or what is commonly called the millennial kingdom, millennial reign. All right? So I want you to start thinking about this. What does it mean to be in the kingdom? What does it mean to be a priest? As we're working on ourselves, as we're dressing up ourselves, we're cleansing ourselves, as he's washing us in the water of the word. All right? All right. Isaiah 61, I say they're going to be reconstruction, right? And they shall build up the ancient ruins. They shall raise up the former devastations, and they shall repair the ruined cities, the devastations of many generations. Strangers shall stand and tend your flocks. Foreigners shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. But you shall be called the priest of Yahuwah. They shall speak of you as the ministers of the Sharats, right? Of Eloah, of Elohim. And you shall eat the wealth of the nations, and in their esteem you shall boast. All right? This is something to look forward to, but we're going to get more into what our responsibilities are as a priest in the kingdom. Because that's the way we should be. This is call it the dressing up room right down here. Get your act together right down here. Start functioning. You wonder why Moray dressed the way he dressed all the time. He's practicing. Set apartness. You know, he does what he does because he's seen it in the scripture, so he wants to practice what he sees, emulate it. All right. Isaiah 66. He's gonna reassemble the priests and the Levites, and they shall bring all your brothers from all the nations as an offering to Yahuwah. That day is coming, on horses, on chariots, and litters, and on mules, and on dormitories, which are just camels, right? To the set apart mountain Jerusalem, says Yahuwah, just as the Israelites bring their grain offering in clean vessels to the house of Yahuwah. That means you want to be clean, in clean vessels. Clean vessels, our bodies, heart, mind, soul, right? And some of them, not all of them, some of them also I will take for priests and Levites. Not all. So everybody ain't gonna make it. But everybody has a chance to make it. You have an opportunity, right? But if you don't put forth any effort, if you're not trying, then hey, you'll get something. You get your life with your role and your job or your responsibilities. You might not make the 1,000-year reign. You just waking up, man, it's time already. Yeah, for the judgment, the great judgment. Yeah, you missed the first one, bro. What y'all doing over there? All right, I'm almost done. As we continue to work on ourselves, our goal should be to strive to walk in the calling, following the example of Adon Yahushua, our great high priest, who has made us and is making us a kingdom of priests, a kingdom and a priesthood. Revelation. Yochanan, John said to the 7 churches, the assemblies that are in Asia, favor to you and peace from him who is and was and is to come, and to the 7 spirits who are before his throne, and from Yahushua. And from Yahushua. So he must be talking about the Most High here. We're talking about Ancient of Days here. And then he said, and from Yahushua, the faithful witness, the firstborn of the dead, the ruler of the kings of earth. Right? To him who loves us and has freed us from our sins by his blood and made us a kingdom, priest to his Eloah and Father. Yahushua got Elohim? Same Elohim? Okay. To be esteemed, we'll get into this. No. To be esteemed, because we're looking at the council here. It's more than, right? Okay. To be esteemed and dominion forever and ever. Amen. All right. So we can see here that there's going to be a reestablishment of things, but he has called us to be this kingdom of priests. But a lot of times it sounds good to us, but we really don't know what that means, and we're going to get into that next week. All right. But a warning to the kings. A warning to the kings, and this is the last line. Wisdom of Solomon 6:1-9. Listen, therefore, O kings, and understand. Learn, O judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule over multitudes and boast of many nations. For your dominion was given to you from Yahuwah, and your sovereignty from the Most High. He will search out your works and inquire into your plans. Because as servants of his kingdom, you did not rule rightly, or kept the law, or walk according to the purpose of Elohim. He will come upon you terribly and swiftly, because severe judgment falls on those in what? High places. That's why they tell us, don't know everybody be teachers. Don't everybody run to get the chief seat, wanting to be in the front, wanting to sit there with the high muckety mucks. Because when the fire comes down, when the fire comes down, you're gonna be like, oh my goodness. I didn't mean, I was just trying to pretend like I just wanted to be around the fire. All right. The lowliest may be pardoned in mercy, but the mighty will be mightily tested. Everybody can't stand the heat, right? For Yahuwah of all will not stand in awe of anyone or show deference to greatness, because he himself made both small and great, and he takes a thought for all alike. But a strict inquiry is in store for the mighty. To you then, O monarchs, kingdom of priests, right? My words are direct, so that you may learn wisdom and not transgress. Right? So, and with that, next week we're going to do requirements, duties of the kingdom of priests. We're going to start talking about what it means. It's a job. It's work. And you start on it now. You don't start until you get there. Well, I'm going to get there. I'm going to go through the, what do you call it? When you get to the job and they give you that orientation, they're going to let me know orientation. No. All right. All right. Any questions? I think I did. Oh, yeah, I did good. No? Oh, good. Let us stand.
Oh, Sleek Hamori, I do have a question. I'm sorry, I was writing.
Yes.
Maury, women can be priests too?
Lo. You have a different role.
Oh, Toda.
Shalom.
So we were talking about the restaurant. We come to the humble. Thank you for the lesson of this vision. Let's solve it over and show that you let us meditate on that lesson. Let's do that home today. We also to our food to catch over our business as we have on the highways and byways. Yes, bless the meal that everyone is receiving, and bless the funds that got it, and we are starting the name of Jesus. Bless everyone who got an ear to hear, and we also ask Father that you bless us that we may learn what you have to do here when we serve as well as those jobs that do the kingdom. We thank you, Father, for your blessings, and we thank you for this lesson, and we thank you for the moral that's given this lesson. And we give you all esteem, honor, and praise. In the name of Yahushua Mashiach. Amen. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing before you. Oh, Yahweh.